This is the U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
Don't let anybody try to define or dictate how you feel about yourself. You get to decide that.
Like, this is so sad, brother. You're a bad person for making someone feel this way. That's it. What? Heard a trans dude beat a woman in a boxing match at the Olympics today? I doubt that they let a man fight a woman. I think you're trying to say a trans woman beat a cis woman or something, but having a hard time coming to terms with that. She isn't even trans. Oh, really? It's not even, is a cis woman? Nice. She's not even trans.
Look at that. Even in the chat, they're fucking fighting too. I can't believe how persistent this was just because this woman isn't like conventionally attractive. Insane.
She just has high testosterone. Classic. Yeah. Great stuff. Look at this. People constantly asking what is a woman. Surprisingly, they don't know what a woman actually is. Iman Khalif is a cis woman that
attack. Like Russia would dump a shitload of resources into circulating this. And it's because they're not allowed to compete under their flag.
Yeah.
Actual higher levels of testosterone. She's competed for years in boxing with no issues. Meet Imane Khalif, a boxer who was banned from the Women's World Boxing Championship because he's a man. However, Khalif is being allowed to compete in the Women's Olympic boxing in Paris. Just another reason to boycott the Olympics. Just more normal
real patriots
from the
real
normal party.
Even if they know,
being normal.
think about that. These people, like, even if they know that it's Russian propaganda, they still always circulate it.
Yeah.
Because Russia has learned, as long as we just gear it towards whatever narrative they have, these people will fucking make it. Like these people are dumb enough to continually amplify an enemy state's rhetoric because it makes them like politically more favorable to fascists, which is not a winning ticket.
Yeah.
Nick Marks had a meltdown over this. Yes, dude. Nick Marks is a perfect representation of what I talk about all the time. Okay. He is a guy who was like a regular dude who probably thought like trans people are kind of weird or whatever. And then he started watching Matt Walsh videos and actively radicalized himself into being this like weird freak who constantly thinks about trans people. Trans people are constantly on the top of mind for him. He went down the pipeline and it's only going to get worse. If someone who loves him, who's in his life, doesn't tell him like, bro, you need to stop. Like you're being weird. You're being weird. Why are you constantly talking about trans people? You got to stop. You're scaring the host.
We'll get into it. Somebody's going to mention it here. But yeah, like it's literally discredited. Like it's and like just the fact that it's like after they beat Russian athletes that they found a reason to disqualify them.
Yeah.
And also like to make the athlete never said anything about her being a man or anything like that.
Yep.
She just said that she was like, I had bad sportsmanship. And was like, I shouldn't have acted like that. It was a bad sport. But it's because like her dreams were crushed at the Olympics. But it's like, that's the Olympics. It's where dreams are crushed, not where they're made, honey. So.
Also, the Olympics are pro-am. It's not even like professionals. Just so you're all aware.
Yeah.
Like the Olympics is nothing special. It's literally professional amateur. Like there are no professionals at the Olympics. Like, you get the odd professional in like basketball and shit.
They had headgear on.
Yeah, exactly.
But the reason is because like pro boxing is like extremely dangerous and people might die.
Yeah. It would be way more entertaining. But it's more for points and medals, right? They don't want people dying. It's for nationalist pride, right? You have to realize the Olympics is a literal nation state soft power.
Same with wrestling. Like you go to the Olympics after college for wrestling.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't do that, okay, he is going to inevitably go down this pipeline and reach the final stage. The final stage, of course, being the transvestigation stage, where you're just like literally suspecting family members of being trans and shit. Okay, that's where you inevitably arrive at because it's a mental illness. Go to her wiki. It literally says 7 words in. She then represented Algeria, where she ranked 33rd. Oh, 7th word is she. Ultimately, the reason why like every anti-trans person inevitably arrives at transvestigation is because of the reality that gender is expression based. Okay, it's not like scientific, and it's certainly not a binary. Even the biological understanding of gender is outdated if you consider that to be male female as a binary. Okay, like outdated in scientific literature, and that's the problem. So if gender is simply a mechanism of expression and it's not a binary, after all, I myself am 6'4", 230 pounds, and I'm a man. Ben Shapiro also is a man. He can't grow facial hair. His voice doesn't sound all that manly, if you want to consider it under the rigid norms, rigid binary of gender. And he's like 5'3" with a very waifish physique.
Also, I did want to bring this up because this is very funny that this is coming up, because I did get blocked by a Hassan stan because I'm like, this is weird. You're just posting Hassan pictures. This is weird. Also,
oh, no, that was weird.
Right?
That account was weird.
But the thing that was weirdest and funnier was that she posted a picture comparing Hassan to Tim Pool. Fair comparison as like a masculine to immasculine, like not masculine person.
Well,
I'm like,
it was Tim Pool who was saying the shit about how.
No, I know, right? And I get it, right? Tim Pool is not a very masculine person, but I'm also like, muscles don't make you masculine. Right? Are you just observing external features? Like, what are we actually doing here?
Well,
have you
Tim
heard
Pool's
Hassan
critique
scream?
was that they don't go to the gym.
Huh?
Tim Pool was critiquing that they don't go to the gym or lift. He was doing a "Do you even lift?"
Was he really? Oh my god!
That's why she responded like that. But she also said super weird shit in that response.
Yeah, still weird, but also. But my initial response to the Hassan thing was, Hassan is the example of masculinity. Have you heard him squeal?
Yeah, he is a little.
We're both men, and we are both men.
It is very girly. It's almost impressive how high pitched his squeal goes.
Men, right? Cis men, as a matter of fact. Then that should help you understand that, like, maybe it's not as binary as you think it is. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, gender is also simply the expression that you choose beyond your sex,
I really don't care about
this is precisely the reason why you can't really tell who's trans and who's not trans, and that's why anyone who actively claims they can always tell.
Like, oh, here's them.
I mean, it's not. Look, if you.
Let's get to the meme review, Hassan.
It's like, stop doing this discussion. Like, the passing discussion is dumb. Stop this. It's very easy to not be a cunt. It's just as easy to be one, but it costs nothing to not be one. So just don't. You know, it really isn't that hard.
I just
right?
don't need to explain for this extended period of time.
Yeah.
Like, you make your point. Okay, no audio. I saw this, and I didn't explain it. It was just because...
Calling the decision...
Hey, we finally got something.
Joining me now is Sky News contributor Al-qeada. Let's start with the Olympics. Australia's female boxing captain, Caitlin Parker, has hit out at the Olympics approval of two boxers who failed gender eligibility tests, calling the decision incredibly dangerous. Two boxers in the female category previously failed gender tests set by the International Boxing Association, who claimed the boxers' chromosome tests came back as XY instead of XX. You know, that's female XX. Parker joins the growing chorus of female boxers slamming the Olympics decision to allow these two boxers to compete. Gold medalist American boxer Clarissa Shields tweeted, "So they got men fighting against women in the Olympics. I wouldn't have stood for no stuff like that. That is so heartbreaking to the women who have to have their dreams ruined by a man. Sad." And
good grammar. Good grammar come from Twitter post.
It's going to be such a...
I know. I don't give a fuck because Twitter's not a real place.
Oh, I'm so excited. I hope they all get sued.
Look, it's just like, I get it. You know, like we don't need to go over it. You know, like it's like I wanted memes on like laughing at the people saying dumb shit, but that was like a video of him reacting to it when it first happened with no reason. You know.
Yeah, like what the fuck is this test?
How much the information falls apart with any introspection.
outrageous. I want to be talking about this later with a women's rights campaigner who's got some strong thoughts, but just the optics of having a man beating up a woman in a boxing competition and possibly being awarded with a medal for it.
The fact that this is on Sky fucking News is embarrassing. You should be fucking embarrassed, Rita. You should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed to be on TV spouting this shit. This should be a career low for you. Genuinely. And that's saying something, because this is like bottom of the barrel, scraping to stay relevant kind of shit, right? Good Lord.
It's absurd on every level. The optics, the reality. We've had some cases. There was a volleyball player in a high school in the US who got seriously injured because a biological male was on the other side spiking the ball. Multiply that by 100, and that's what can happen with boxing. It's really important to demystify the language, as you did there too, because they try to say that, you know, they fail the gender eligibility test. No, they have an XX versus an XY chromosome. That's what this is about. That's very clarifying. And sadly, I think the only thing it's going to take, Rita, for this to change is something really drastic, because drastic times call for drastic measures. Either somebody's going to get really injured, which I hate to say, or it has to be really high profile, high visible protests beyond the tweets and the statements, which are great, good for them.
Allegedly, she also had a nose injury, a broken nose injury.
Yes.
That had not fully healed before the Olympics. So, and she got hit there twice. So her nose was already fucking not in good shape before.
And then the American, but they imagine if all the boxers or all the female athletes.
Yeah, I've seen zero evidence confirming this XY chromosome bullshit.
Yeah, and
Zero.
like I'm still fine with the spaghetti stuff, you know, like the spaghetti memes. But it's just the only thing I have a problem with is just like directing it at her, like she's the one who said she was a man when the athlete never did. She just had extremely poor sportsmanship about losing because she quit because she was so scared.
Yeah.
It's just completely boycotted the Olympics because
And she also hasn't. It's not her last
at the end of the
fight
day,
in
I
the
think that is
Olympics too.
I just think it's funny that she's a cop.
Oh yeah, that's funny too.
Like, this was probably my favorite meme. It says, crybaby, cop, shitty boxer, Italian. I don't know what GC means, but GC, it's her name. Very funny.
Going to be the only way it stops if the women say in unison, not just one or two of them,
exactly.
taking one for the team, in unison say no. We're not
Gender
doing this.
critical.
We're not getting in a ring.
I don't
with a
know.
bloke.
She
not
didn't
fair.
say that though. I don't think. I don't know.
No, she never did.
That's why we've got men and female categories for a reason.
Ridiculous.
People are talking about this one. As you said, this is a complicated case. It's just not that simple. Now, the boxer in question has high levels of testosterone, but she is a woman. And the Olympic Committee wants to make it very clear this is not a transgender issue. In just 46 seconds, with a single punch to the nose, Italian boxer Angela Carini forfeited her Olympic match against Algerian Iman Khalif, sparking worldwide controversy.
I mean, you could see that there was a...
What?
She said once.
Worldwide controversy.
False info. She said once, it was twice.
Real distinct.
Wait, is it really how TERFs fucking... Wow, they've created a new acronym. Amazing. That's hysterical. They didn't like TERF, so they made their own thing. Gender critical feminist.
I'm just critiquing it.
Gender critical feminist.
I'm just critiquing. We're having everything.
Power difference. It was
But don't say so.
a bad situation. It was really, it wasn't fair.
It's disgusting and it's unfair. I've lost all my respect for the IOC.
At issue is Iman Khalif's gender. She is a woman, reportedly born with XY chromosomes, typically carried by men. In 2023, the International Boxing Association did not
basic journal
allow Khalif
look at the details of this.
Yeah. Like, if it's reportedly and you can't confirm it, don't include it in the fucking
It's literally, but they're literally just, they're so bad at, like, this is what's the issue with journalism, is because with the ability that Russia has gained with information warfare by being so dedicated to it, like, and the fucking US more than willing to circulate their narratives, this is what fucking happens. Because they have to, they're writing to get, they have to flip the shows out. They're under pressure, right? To read and research something as quickly as possible. It's just like that one girl we even like, and we wanted to talk to her about her sources. She was going, I'm trying as hard as I can to like learn about Venezuela, and do something on it. And because because I've seen her retweet More Perfect Union, right? So because she's clearly a socialist type person, of course she doesn't know about Venezuela. Because to them, Venezuela is not a country you have to learn about. It's just under pressure from the U.S., right?
Mm-hmm.
So even her, she's rushing information, even though she's able to do better research than actual journalists. And she's literally said, "I'm just an actor out of work.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm doing it." Right? So it's literally a hobby she picked up because she's not getting acting work.
Just leave us out of your weird hobbies.
To compete because she failed their gender eligibility test. But the IOC has different standards. For Arash Markazi, founder of the Sporting Tribune, that's a problem.
When you have two governing bodies who don't agree on who can participate, you have this controversy in place. And I think that this is something that clearly needs to be worked out before the Olympics come to Los Angeles in 2028.
It's dangerous. Someone will eventually get hurt.
Golden Boy and Olympic gold medalist
the guy who didn't know that they've already been banned by the Olympics. It's already been worked out before Paris. That's the guy. That's the source you pulled in for this. Like, awful journalism.
To express his concerns.
There is zero chance that these fighters are evenly matched. It's impossible and it's scary.
At Panda Boxing Gym in Westlake, these boxers have different opinions on Khalif.
But if she does have Y chromosomes, technically she's a guy. Yeah, she's born a girl. I mean,
this is insane. What relevance does this have? Random boxer opinions? Who gives a shit?
Now they're literally leading them with the question saying that she has XY chromosomes here, when that's not true. It's never been true. They're literally
there's zero evidence.
And people are talking. These fucking commies want to sit here and act like we're doing like this fucking U.S. agenda and all the news, and it's all imperialist news and shit. Get the fuck out of my face.
She's born a girl. In that case, it will make it a fair fight.
The International Olympic Committee issued a statement that says, in part, every person has the right to practice sport without discrimination.
This is my favorite statement, because the Olympics is like, don't be a cunt. Stop being cunts, is basically what they've said politely.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It's just so embarrassing. At least have some humility.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You know what this story is?
This is pretty easily Googleable.
All athletes participating in the boxing tournament of the Olympic Games Paris 2024 comply with the competition's eligibility and entry requirements. As with previous Olympic...
This might be the dumbest information op I've seen.
It might be.
With like the scale of success that it's had, you know? Like there's been dumber ones, they just haven't been as big.
Yeah.
Because they're dumb. Like,
was a moment of history.
I'm blown away. And literally it's only been 24 hours. Right? And like literally, like you literally can't diffuse it in time. Because that's the whole point of making it a coordinated attack. Like the Russians have thousands upon thousands of pushers, and all of those people make that thing pick up in the algorithm, right? And then these fucking grifters pick that up, and it just fucking multiplies. It's such an easy attack vector.
Earlier today in France, and a major controversy too has now erupted out of Paris. An Algerian boxer shown in the red uniform who failed a gender eligibility test last year has now won an opening fight after only 46 seconds. Her opponent breaking down in tears, calling it, quote, unjust. Greg Palcott picks it up from London with more.
I don't even think she's that masculine. Even why are we investigating her?
It's just skinny and tall, and that means you're not feminine, I guess.
My conservative family members won't stop posting about this. Brain rot, bro. It's literally this. Like I'm trying to fucking tell people, like, information warfare is serious shit.
Nobody listens. This is literally what it is. It's no titties.
They both have small boobs.
I know, but like
you don't get Olympics boxing by having a fucking killer rack You know?
No, exactly.
You find me a boxer with a killer rack.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, big controversy indeed at the Olympics. A boxer deemed a biological male beating an Italian female opponent, with the Italian crying out, "I couldn't take it anymore," despite failing that gender test by the International Boxing Association and being banned from an international tournament last year. Algerian.
What
They just put it Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
By the International Boxing Association.
What is going on?
What is happening?
What is going on? Oh, that reminds me. Lita made an epic fucking Khalid Sheikh Mohammed tweet.
And being banned from an international tournament last year, Algerian 25-year-old Iman Khalif was okayed by Olympic authorities to compete. And apparently today it was a very one-sided fight with Italian Angela Carini, also 25. After just 46 seconds and several sharp punches to the head, including the nose by Khalif, Carini abandoned the fight, threw her helmet to the floor, stormed off the boxing ring, and in fact went on to say that she had never felt such strong blows in a contest before. Now, Algerian Khalif has competed for several years in other international tournaments, including the Olympics, but was banned last year due to, according to officials, elevated levels of testosterone. Algerian sports officials have called the charges against Khalif baseless, but others have raised concerns about the health of opposing athletes when, according to one, a man fights a woman. And Khalif is not...
Even this is wrong. Even the lower third is wrong. Look at that. That's not why.
Well, it is a mid. It is a mid. It just has nothing to do with each other. Check this link out that I'm sending about this is
Fox News proper too.
This is like like zoning data on where strikes hit in the drone attack on the Russian airbase.
Okay.
Those are like fires, right?
Interesting.
So that's like estimated from the like video and using map.
Damn. They fucking nailed it.
Yeah. Fucked them up.
Yeah, sure did. God damn.
Not the only one getting attention. Taiwan boxer Lin Yu-ting is competing in the Olympics, including a fight tomorrow, and has also been deemed a biological male, according to the International Boxing Association. In a statement, the IBA said in part, this test conclusively indicated that both...
Yeah.
They ever ban Russian athletes
necessary
for
eligibility criteria. And were found to have competitive advantages over other female competitors. One more quote from the defeated Italian: "Boxing is a sport that teaches you to have respect for the opponent. It cannot and must not become an abuse." Back to you, Bill.
What a story. I think it's quite a moment in this whole campaign, whether it's here or overseas. Greg, thank you for that in London. We got more on this now, Dana.
Want to bring in Clarissa Shields. She's a professional boxer and a two-time Olympic gold medalist. It's great to have you. And her necklace there says "Gwoat was the greatest woman of all time." It is really good to have you here. You've competed in 2 Olympics. This, you told us in the break, was not an issue when you were in the Olympics. And there's the medals. What do you think about all of this?
Well, my first Olympics, I was 17 years old. So I hadn't even fully developed as a woman. So I couldn't imagine getting inside the ring with the biological man. I mean, even though I spar against the men, but fighting for the Olympics is way bigger than that. It's so much more on the line. So to have to go in there with the opposite gender when, look, women fight against women, men fight against men. So I don't even see how the Olympics done something like this.
You know, I watched this video earlier today, Clarissa. Have you seen it? The Italian boxer saying, "I'm out." Have you seen the video yet?
I've seen it.
I mean, she really looked scared to me. What did you think?
You know, I grew up in a gym sparring against a lot of guys and stuff, but every fighter, woman fighter, does not do that. So, so the power to her did seem like it was much bigger and much stronger, and it did scare her, you know. And I don't know how old she is, but it's still like when you're born, and man, you're already born with the bigger muscles and a bigger neck, and you've grown up to be a man. You know, you didn't.
I've been
Italian moment.
For a while now.
What?
I said my entire interface has been frozen for a while now.
What was what?
Change genders when you was a kid, so it to me it's just unfair, and I just can't believe that it's being done, and I just couldn't imagine it happening to me.
There's not that many women who are willing to stand up and say this is wrong, and you know, I admire you for doing so. Do you think the Olympics will have a change of heart here? I mean, if you see her, that young woman from Italy, she worked just as hard as anybody else to get to the Olympics, and her dream was dashed in 46 seconds because of him.
Yeah, because she sucked. And now you're calling a chick a dude for no fucking reason. Like, all right. Okay. Fucking weirdos.
it is very hard to qualify for the Olympics. You have to go through so many different international tournaments.
Yeah, no, she literally dropped her hands, got smacked in the face, quit because she got boxed during boxing.
Tournaments, country tournaments to even make it to the Olympics. So, for me, I can understand her devastation, but it shouldn't be ruined due to a man. And I think that the Olympics definitely dropped the ball. You know, and
no, they didn't.
Listen, I don't have anything against transgender women or transgender men. All I'm saying is that men should fight against men, women should fight against women, and transgender should fight against transgenders. That is how I feel. I will stand with that. I'm not homophobic.
Just abolish.
That's why I couldn't find her. She changed her fucking username.
Abolish sex from sport, and then get good. And then you can't complain. Skill issues.
Okay, check. You're gonna love
like
this.
that.
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, what she said about this, right? So this is the original post. There's a sense of betrayal among 9/11 families right now. This guy tells me. News Talks 5 podcast about plea deal with KSM, worth a listen, right? So we're feeling betrayed because they took this guy to trial and charged him for the crime. You're feeling betrayed because of that? So Lena says, maybe the 9/11 family should go fuck themselves then. And I said, base Lena, common Lena W.
Or again,
we usually start with swimming, but we're bringing Pete Bedell from News Corp, who covered the boxing. Pete, an unbelievable day for the Olympics, been rocked. Tell us what happened and how it unfolded.
Well, Matty, we always thought this would be a news story. We didn't think it would be as big as Ben Johnson. It's become bigger than Ben-Hur. And this is an international scandal for the IOC. It's embarrassing. And it would concern.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what that is, bro. I understand the reference, but come on, bro. You've never seen it.
I've never seen it, no.
Do you know what that is?
No idea.
Okay.
Khalifa, and at 12:20 she went into the ring. By 12:22 we had an international disaster, and she knocked out her Italian rival in 46 seconds. And there's been a lot of debate as to whether she is a female or an XY athlete with the Y chromosome, which would make her biologically male. She failed a sex test last year at the World Champs. She was disqualified. As a result, the IBA didn't want her fighting. The IOC took over the Olympics and deemed she could fight because she's a female on her passport. We now have this firestorm as a result of this, and it was just bedlam today at North Paris Arena.
Oh my God!
Now this
they're literally wrong
I
about
the Italian
here.
woman was asked. Friends said, "Do not get in the ring. Do not do it." She went through and really quit, threw the gloves off.
This is why. This is why.
Matty, I spoke to the Italian coach afterwards, and he said that
it's so damaging.
Yeah.
You know, it's a perfect video to follow this up with. A nice French woman telling us about why we should quit the internet.
Yeah. The governing body has revealed little about the nature of the test, including what was tested and who tested it. The lack of transparency would be unacceptable in major Olympic sports, and the IBA has been banned from the Olympics since 2019.
Since 2019.
Not a great source.
she had family and friends saying, do not fight this girl, Aman Khalifa from Algeria. She's too dangerous. She could hurt you. She could kill someone in the ring. And then it got to a stage where once the knockout happened after 46 seconds or the stoppage, the bout was not called a knockout. It was abandoned. She threw her headgear off and then stormed off.
Pete, it was disturbing to watch. It wasn't just, to give the context, it didn't just...
Pathetic. Once again, Fox News.
Another story that we've been covering is the growing controversy over the Algerian boxer Iman.
I'm done with the news. Let's get to...
The Olympics are making headlines because, oh my God, the right wing is insane. And there was a boxer, or is a boxer, she advanced.
Yes.
And she was already the Secretary of State in Missouri.
She's running her election, as I believe, next week.
Okay, so this person has been elected to office. Here she goes talking about this woman in the Olympics.
These faggots should get their own faggot
Whoa,
categories.
Whoa! They didn't bleep that shit out?
Or if a man hit a woman, it used to end him in jail. Now, it gets you a...
And this isn't even with the
P hate. Yell over it.
Okay.
Gold medal at the Olympics. These are the worst Olympics in history. They have made a mockery out of Christianity and women. And let me remind you, there's no such thing as a chick with a dick. Keep women's sports female.
It's so
Okay, I
cringe.
thought she said 2 F slurs in there. But
Yeah,
I
at
only
the
heard
at
it once.
the start she does. It was 2.
Oh, so I covered them both.
Hit them a 1-2 punch.
I covered them both with my voice.
Okay. So lovely.
Imani Khalif does not have, I repeat, a dick, as Valentina Gomez says.
Anyway,
there.
Ben-Hur
let's
is like,
ask.
He's still on this.
It's a really it's the reference, right? So it's a movie from 1958, right?
Mhm.
It's like kind of like the first movie. You know how like Jaws was the first blockbuster?
Yeah.
You know, like the effort that goes into this movie is not like you still had like most movies being done on like sets that were made for like plays almost, you know?
Mhm.
Like they were very like still almost like a theater play, but that's like incorporated to be made for a lens. This was like an entire epic where they fleshed out the writing and the the props department, the stunt crews, the camera work. Like it's an epic of the period. So because of that, it was hot as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge, but like it's 1959. That's not really culturally relevant to today. And there's also a rumor that a guy dies in it, which is not true. Well, a guy did die in it. It's just rumored that he's in the video. A stuntman died making it.
Oh my god.
And they just remade it in 2016 and it bombed.
This is probably one of the best tweets. J.K. Rowling is 1 bottle of gin away from saying that only white people can be women.
My black job.
J.K. Rowling, let's see what she has to say about this. I'm sure this is going to be entirely measured. This is somebody who has decided that as a billionaire, after writing a franchise, and those were being made into movies with spin-offs, and then there's going to be an HBO show involved here, that her life is better served, not just like sitting on her pile of money, but attacking women and trans women throughout the country and throughout the world.
The best part, right? All of these billionaires that decide that they want to be public figures, right? They could just like shut the fuck up and go away. And they'd be fine. So why are you doing this? Why is Elon doing this? Why is J.K. Rowling doing this? Why are you morons as people with more money than you could ever spend in your fucking lifetime? Spending your time online making the lives of random trans people worse. Are you a good person because of this? Or are you a scumbag piece of shit? You tell me. Open question. Open invite to come on the show. Any public billionaire who's an actual outward cunt, you can come on the show and explain why. Open invitation.
Oh, I just hate poor people.
She says, could any picture sum up our new men's rights movement better? The smirk of a male who knows he's protected by a misogynist sporting establishment, enjoying the distress of a woman he's just punched in the head and whose life ambitions he just shattered. First of all, okay, cry more, lady. She fell.
People don't know sport. They don't care about sports. They don't actually want women participating in competitions.
Are you telling me that the woman...
This is like the first Mad Max Fury Road. It's that type of movie.
Yes.
Like the I sent you the famous like clip from it. It's like a technical marvel. I mean, they really like how they're going to do the fucking flooded gladiator battles in this new gladiator movie. You know, genius filmmaking.
And who
that said,
thought of the game?
Sucks. It's about Jesus.
Quidditch doesn't understand sports. Where like the entire game just ends if you catch one ball, and then everybody else is kind of meaningless.
I'm not her either. I've seen the
what?
Scene. I said it's like Citizen Kane. I'm not going to watch it.
Right.
I'm not going to watch Ben-Hur. I've seen the chariot scene. I get it. It's a sled. It's a sled from when he was a kid.
Snitch. I mean,
has it translated to video games?
No, and also just doesn't translate to real. Like, okay,
So men invading women's spaces is wrong unless the man says he's a woman. Got it. The patriarchy is bad and toxic unless it's masquerading as matriarchy. And hitting women is wrong except when it's a trans woman hitting a woman. None of this makes sense, but it is what feminists have now been conditioned to believe. And only one generation after securing
Are you a feminist?
No,
actual equal rights, secure entitlement protections, we are taking massive.
That is incorrect.
Why are you doing this, Brett?
This is not good information.
This is very
She's
bad
actually wrong.
intelligence.
Leaps backwards. In fact, yesterday, August 1st, Biden's reworked Title IX went into effect, basically stripping women of any gender-based privacy and protections that we had in sports and academia. And something else that happened yesterday.
Oh, is that the one that protects trans people under Title IX?
Yep.
Yeah, based.
Stripping women of any gender-based privacy and protection.
Hi.
What does that say there?
This
it only
enhances-
affects 24 states? Okay, that's cool.
Cool.
Not even half the
that
country.
we had in
Awesome.
sports and academia. And something else that happened yesterday was an Olympic boxing match between an alleged biological man and a biological woman. However,
Holy
it's
shit,
not
a
as simple as
YouTube comment. You should go to Twitch.
Some people are still
there's
on
a twist.
YouTube.
No, I know. There's actually quite a few on YouTube, but we're
Yeah,
getting-
because we told them to be on both.
I know we're racking those numbers up. It's great.
It made Twitter turn upside down. We're going to talk about it today. Before we
Who
do,
likes
though, make
ground
sure that you like
news?
this video, subscribe to the comment section channel if you have not already, and of course,
dislike the
ring that
video,
notification
Brett.
bell so that you never miss one of our uploads. All right,
I
so
will
we
not do
briefly
this.
talked about this at the beginning of the week in our Olympics episode, but the Olympic Committee has allowed.
We watch that?
No, I don't care about that. I want to hear her see if she actually dispels Russian propaganda here, because she's the only one I have hope for
Yeah.
out of all the
Individuals
conservative
with XY
commentators.
chromosomes to compete against women in boxing. Boxing to literally be throwing punches.
We're waiting for all the other food related people to join the chat. Then
Where's
the food
Bisky?
party.
Where's Johnny
And
Jizzo?
biological women. Again, like I said, you can't hit women unless you tell everyone that you are a woman. As a brief recap from that original episode, these two boxers were barred from competing in the Women's World Championships back in 2023 after DNA testing uncovered that they had XY chromosomes and allegedly possible high levels of testosterone.
I hate what she's wearing. I hate it.
It's like anti-pastel, anti-neon Kamala Harris's daughter.
Testosterone. But then a year later, the Olympic Committee said, no, not a big deal. Come on in and fight women. And that is
A little bit.
how we ended up here. Iman Khalif is one of those boxers, and Khalif is from Algeria. And Iman was raised a woman in Algeria.
Just show
Iman
your
allegedly
shoulders,
has
you know?
female anatomy, but has a reproductive disorder called DSD, or disorders of sexual development.
She's actually explaining
No.
what's happening.
This is what I was telling you. The new acronym that's going to happen, DSD, right?
Okay.
This term is not a condition or really anything
Okay.
like that. It's just a generalized term to describe any type of athlete that has a natural biological advantage over the atypical archetype of that athlete.
It's disorders of sex development.
Yao Ming
Okay.
is DSD. Shaquille O'Neal is DSD.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James is not. But LeBron James is still a freak compared to like the rest of the world,
Yeah.
you know? Like he's a superhuman athlete.
Mm.
And I'd say a better athlete than Shaq, but
Yeah.
but Shaq is still like Andre the Giant, not Hulk Hogan. He just juices.
Mm.
Maybe Donald Trump. It's mainly like physical advantages, though.
Yeah.
You know.
So differences in sex development or variations in sex characteristics, VSC. So DSD or VSC
Yeah.
would become a new narrative.
I mean, this has been around for a while, right? It's just like
Yeah,
because
obviously, it's just a new
because
thing that they've discovered.
with scientific stuff and like stuff like that. It's just easier to make these abbreviations.
And people with DSD make up somewhere between 0.01% and 2% of the entire global population. And so basically, even though there are different manifestations of DSD, Khalif allegedly went through male puberty, has XY chromosomes with male levels of testosterone. And that is why
No.
Iman Khalif is so large and why Khalif fights like a man.
She's not
However,
even like
Khalif also
No.
allegedly has some
She's really not. That's what I don't understand.
like it. She looks fucking normal to me.
It's so strange.
female anatomy, maybe all female
I don't
anatomy,
know,
and was
but
raised
almost
as a woman,
like
as we just said. However,
trans
to add even more
investigating
complexity.
shit.
Mm.
It's weird.
It's weird.
to this entire situation, that female anatomy could also include testicles that never developed or dropped.
What
so
are you
Khalif might
talking-
have some of the male anatomy, maybe in addition to some of the female anatomy.
Not intersex. That's not what DSD is. She's 5'10".
Same height as my mum.
Anatomy, just not like other men. They have not descended. They are not hung.
Okay.
For lack of a better word. I'm so sorry. This is so complicated to describe. But regardless, here's a childhood picture. That is Aman Khalif on the right, and then Aman as a child on the left. So you can see, again, was raised as a girl. Passport says Aman is a girl. Birth certificate says Aman is a girl. That is what we know. And then another thing to reiterate, again, is that Aman Khalif is Algerian. In Algeria, transgenderism is outlawed. You cannot change your...
Holy shit.
Transgenderism is outlawed.
Holy shit. Okay. Thank you for finally bringing this up. I literally posted this because I'm like, I'm just going to screenshot this and send this to
I've
anybody
seen, like,
talking
Sam
about
Cedar and
this.
stuff bring it up, but
It's
like I said, Brett was the only one I had hope for.
Yeah, and it's like when you really put this to the test of logic, right? Exactly what I tweeted is perfect. I think the way the way it's phrased is a perfect way to phrase it. It says, if I told you a 99% Muslim country not only fielded a trans boxer, but set up an entire conspiracy and covered it up for years just to swindle the Italians in 2024 Olympics, would you believe me?
No, Jack, you tell me if this is abnormal. Okay, I should also get her reach too, which I will next. So 66 kilograms, 5'10" for a woman.
66, 5'10", no. That's pretty standard.
Not abnormal.
No, that's very normal.
Hmm.
Let's see what the average weight of 5'10" male. 156 pounds.
So higher, that would be, she's 146 pounds, so.
Yeah, okay, so 10 pounds. So she would be, if theoretically she was trans, she would be 10 pounds underweight of the typical
male weight
at that height. So how could somebody who's
what's the average female though
malnourished be a competitive boxer? Just asking for a friend.
Well, it's just the average weight.
Sure, but still.
Gender, socially or legally there, this is not the case.
Like, why do we not just have like standard stats on how far she can reach?
Of some weird Canadian family who raised their son as a girl since birth and called them a baby, and so nobody knows if they ever transitioned. Aman has been a girl for as long as we know. In fact, if you go back a couple of years, you see that Aman became a UNICEF ambassador and wrote a long piece about what it meant to be a female boxer in Algeria because no girls were competing, and Aman loved it so much. And her father, I'm just going to say her right now. Her father didn't want her to box.
You should be saying her.
Jesus Christ, Brett.
Jesus Christ, Brett.
And
no, that's the thing.
So
it just shows that she's just
no. I agree.
I
agree. But I also think she's trying to do it, but she's also like doesn't understand like the brain rot shit that is like coming out of like the conservative ecosphere. You know,
yeah,
she's just showing up to do a fucking show.
She's. I reckon she's probably normal center right. Kind of grew up in a conservative house. Not really religious, maybe kind of, but like. That's the kind of vibe I get from her. Just normal girl.
Like sometimes she's like totally departs from the Daily Wire narrative because she actually does a slim amount of Googling to figure shit out. Like this is like one of the more Googleable things.
This is pretty easily Googleable.
All in all, basically, this story has been so confusing to follow, and every news source has been covering it differently. No one was using the word transgender. I mean, in my original episode, I even mentioned that Khalif and the other boxer do not.
Brett, hi. You know, it's actually pretty easy to verify these things. It's called journalistic.
All I hear is I can fix her. No, I can't. That's not possible. What I'm saying is that it's funny because she is like, she's almost like an outside party they brought in to be her ringer for the young folks. And it's just funny because she like clearly does not like she's not hanging out after hours with them. Like she's showing up to do a job,
Smoking cigars and drinking whiskey at the boys'
she like
club?
shows
I
up to
don't
do her
think so.
job and fucking leaves, you know?
Yes.
And then goes home and watches like gay comedies and shit. And by that I mean like the type of the comedies that women watch. They're all gay as fuck.
Yeah,
You know?
rom-coms.
Like she probably loves Will and Grace, which is a gay comedy.
It is a gay comedy. It's a really good show.
She seems like
too.
somebody who would be watching that for some
It's a good
reason.
show.
It is a good show.
You should watch that show. It's a
great show.
My year 12 jumper on it has
Well,
just
there's this one line in it with the maid. I think her name's Rosario.
Mhm.
Rosario, and it's like she's talking about how she's scared of the toilets that flush themselves.
That's funny.
Not identify as trans. They are intersex or DSD. However, because the fight was yesterday, this story caught wind on Twitter and it
But yeah, she's it really isn't that hard to figure this out.
And also, I'm pretty
All
sure
you
she's
have to do
actually
is,
Protestant, so I can't fix her. Nobody
probably.
can fix Protestants.
It's really
There's
not
only
that
one
hard
solution.
to actually it's really not that hard to actually figure this out. It's called not believing Twitter. It's called critical thinking.
So we can
It's
start
called
killing the
don't believe
Protestants.
things that make you emotional. And it's called corroborating fucking sources. You work for a journalism outlet, correct? They should teach you this. No. If you're doing journalism.
Isn't that
If
cheating
you guys
the
aren't
public?
getting corroborating
Isn't that
sources,
betraying the public's trust? Isn't that cheating the public? Isn't that immoral?
how are we supposed to believe anything you say if you guys aren't finding corroborating sources for the shit that you talk about?
All right, so I just gotta say, okay, so her set has gotten better. That ugly ass curtain that was over her right shoulder or left, right? So that ugly ass curtain, it's gone. They have a more like finished set. But this fucking coffee cup on the coaster right here, it literally feels like an unfinished asset. Like it feels like just a clay sculpture. That's like it's like an uninteractable object that's hard locked to the desk, set decoration that is so generic like that. So like it
became a rallying.
It doesn't even look like it's even on the top. Like it looks like she made it herself.
cry for people to speak up about the protections for women's sports and keeping trans women out of women's athletic and competitive spaces. And in doing so, Khalif was identified as trans by the masses. Already, the story.
Wow. We really need a "you're retarded" soundbite. It's just one that says "you're retarded."
Retard.
Go to tree jail!
Tree jail for you!
Story of the ineligibility at the World Championships and the XY chromosomes and the possible high levels of testosterone would make you think that. But when you watch the video of Khalif fighting her Olympic opponent, you really understand why. Because her opponent was knocked out almost immediately. Now, the Olympic.
Brett.
How about
oh
this?
my god.
How about this, Jack? I got a sound bite for you.
Hi, do you want to know how to fix this? Stop.
Okay. New soundbite. Here you go.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class! Do you believe in a flying spaghetti monster too, Bubblehead?
I wasn't talking about spaghetti.
Come on, you. You're gonna have to sit in the dunce chair.
Perfect.
is being very generous with their copyright strikes over the past couple of weeks. But basically, Khalif was fighting Italian boxer Angela Carini. They got in the ring, but Carini called off the fight after just 46.
Yeah, that was, we figured that out real early. Yeah, it's funny. All you have to do is really where did I
this is pretty easily Googleable.
Think about wife.
6 seconds saying that she had never been hit that hard. And as she talked to reporters and was talking to her coach, it's been translated that she was saying, "This isn't right. This isn't fair. I've never been hit this hard." And so she walked. And Khalif was declared.
Yeah, that's because she's a cop. She's the one hitting usually.
the winner, which was obviously heartbreaking for Karine. She just sat down in the ring and sobbed. Also, as they're walking out, Khalif like slaps Karine in the chest. Almost looks like Karine gets roped. It's very, very weird. The entire situation was just heartbreaking. And then in the post-match interviews, Karine is talking about how she was fighting for her father and she just wanted to make him proud. And she's so sorry, but it just wasn't right. She had never been hit that hard, sobbing, heartbreaking, but she feels like she did what was right. Riley was obviously talking about this all day yesterday, and she said, after 46 seconds and a few hits to the face by
Riley Gaines, is this your source? Riley Gaines is your fucking source? The grifter who grifted off Leah Thomas beating her in a skill issue? Cool.
a male, Karine forfeited the fight. Call me crazy, but it's almost as if women do not want to be punched in the face by a male as the world watches and applauds. This is glorified male violence against women. And even though there's a debate about this person's gender, obviously, I agree with the sentiment. There is just a lot more nuance in this particular situation that we're going to get into. J.K. Rowling.
Holy shit, Brett. Oh my god. This is very un-Daily Wire content.
Said, could any picture sum up...
I feel bad that this show will get taken from her if she quits the Daily Wire. And it'll get like recycled into something else.
Our new men's rights movement better. The smirk of a male who knows
might actually be their best content stream. Out of everything that they produce, I think Brett might be just based on the sheer fact that she's able to Google the actual information.
Yeah, because she actually she's like, how do I do this job? And she like Googled how to do the job. Oh, I should Google and check sources.
A sporting establishment enjoying the distress of a woman that he has just punched in the head and whose life ambition he...
How about this one?
I'm retarded?
Join Twitch.
Open
numbers up.
All the tabs. Start opening incognito windows. Start opening on your phone as well.
Multi-stream, multi-view. Huh?
He just shattered. We literally see stories about this every day in America. This has become far too common. It is the reason why Riley Gaines is fighting the way that she is. It's the reason why J.K. Rowling is fighting the way that she is. But again, this story and these boxers possibly don't exactly fit into that fight. And so I think that's why people immediately jumped on this story and started taking it really seriously, because we are seeing the effects of situations like this every single day. It's like seeing the real effects of my dogs eating rough greens, which is why...
Yeah, we could do that. But the people are retarded.
It works. The world you're a big host after post labeling
dog food, yeah.
I'm
like trans, and then
you know, like finding something that's not weird and unhinged.
Yes.
After others online were pushing back and saying, no, Khalif is a woman, you're a bigot, all of this stuff, people started to do more investigating, which is when they started talking about DSD, the boxing association that barred Khalif from the World Championships, and another allegedly male boxer who is also competing as a woman in the Olympics, made a statement to try and clear things up. They said the IBA reaffirms the position and removal of boxers from all events, aims to protect female boxers, and condemns both the International Olympic Committee and World Boxing for allowing ineligible athletes to...
Hi, can we just go back to when I said that these guys have been banned because of
CIA told us that. The CIA told us that. They said they
lack
didn't.
of transparency.
The FBI said that they didn't do it. They didn't give the crack out. So
they did not reveal what the test was, who tested it, the actual results.
Because
they were banned in 2019
doing Russian information
from
warfare
the Olympics.
And said, "Hey, are you doing information warfare?" And they said, "Yes."
No.
And then he reported on what they said.
Totally out of our common sense.
The IBA is sponsored by Gazprom. By the way.
It's one of those shitty
And then in the statement, they reiterated the results of the testing that they conducted in 2023. They said, to reiterate, both Aman Khalif and Lin Young-T, who is the other possibly male boxer, did not meet the required eligibility criteria to compete within the female category of our respective events. The decision made by IBA on the 24th of March in 2023 was subsequently ratified by the IBA Board of Directors on the 25th of March 2023. The official record of the decision can be accessed on the IBA website here, and the urgent nature of the decision was justified as the safety of our boxers is our top priority. And then later in the statement, they said, point to note, the athletes did not undergo a testosterone examination, but were subject to a separate and recognized test, whereby the specifics remain confidential. This test conclusively indicated that both athletes did not meet the required necessary eligibility criteria and were found to have competitive advantages over female competitors. boxers. And then in a separate statement, they had the list of the requirements. One of them is that you must be a female, and that is denoted by XX chromosomes. Allegedly, they were found to have XY chromosomes. And this just opened up an entire can of worms. Because now, contrary to what many people in the media have been saying, the IBA is saying that they didn't actually test their testosterone, even though every news outlet reported on that. And then in a separate statement from 2023, they acknowledged, like I said, the XY chromosomes, but regardless, the IBA is sticking by their guns and saying that these individuals did not qualify. They're not talking about their possible disorder or what went into it. They're just saying, no, by all accounts, they did not qualify. They had an advantage over normal women. It was not safe for them to fight against women. Now, I just have to throw this in here right now because it's important. Right now, as we are doing this episode, my producer just informed me that the other boxer, who is part of this entire situation, just competed against a woman and won. Now, this other boxer, Lin Yuting from Taiwan, has not come under as much public scrutiny. They had not competed yet. So I'll be interested to see if this conversation expands as more information comes out about them. And so then people online were all in a tizzy even more, and they started to break this down. And Jack Mack, who I love, he was one of the first to seemingly get this story straight with the right nuance. This is what he said.
Iman has been barred from competing in world competitions that are governed.
Barstool. You know, if you followed 5th Gen, either me or John, you'd have known about this. And the probably John. I was a bit late to the party because I didn't give a fuck. I was like, more Olympics shit. I don't care. Then it turned out to be something bigger. But yeah, if you followed us, you'd have known. You wouldn't need to be on TikTok or following Barstool Sports.
By the International Boxing Federation. Point to the note, the athletes did not undergo a testosterone examination, but were subject to a separate and recognized test whereby the specifics remain confidential. Now, you may be reading that and thinking, oh, Iman must be a male. Transition to get a gold medal. Does not seem like that's the case. All indications are that Iman was raised as a woman and is possibly intersex. However, those raised testosterone levels do give Iman an unfair edge.
There was no testosterone test.
However,
what levels?
It is natural.
What is going on?
What levels?
So
Even
it is a very weird, touchy.
Brett just criticized that the media reported on it, and she's like, "This is my best source," and played this guy saying the exact thing she acknowledged didn't fucking happen.
What are you supposed to do here? Situation. Is it fair to let them continue to compete?
The state
I'd
of
probably say
journalism
no.
in this fucking
I would go
country
with the internet.
Well, are you a fucking expert, dickhead, or are you some idiot that works for Barstool? Huh?
It's fucking terrifying, the state of journalism in this country.
Yes.
National Boxing Federation's ruling on this case.
Now, the other thing that I want to keep...
They are banned for a fucking reason. They were sponsored by Gazprom, an entity notoriously used by Russia in diplomacy and pressure.
Also, the conservatives even tossed this around as a victory, but it didn't spread because they don't actually count their victory points, only their defeats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the persecution. But a person who is a trans female applied to compete in the Olympics, and the Olympics said no.
Mm.
The Olympics literally doesn't allow you to be trans and compete. That happened this year.
It happened. There was trans competitors before, but they didn't talk about it because the Kiwi weightlifter came like 9th or 10th or something. Didn't even qualify.
This person applied to try to go to the qualifier, and the Olympics said that they're going to refuse. They're not allowing trans people to compete.
Weird. It's weird that it changes within 4 years. I wonder what changed.
Hammering in is that if Iman does have DSD, like I said, can be manifested in many different ways. You could have non-descended testicles, or they could have descended and you have XX chromosomes anyway. Or it's vice versa. You have XY chromosomes, but you have female body parts. I mean, it is so rare. It is understudied.
Fucking intersex.
It's very individual, but most doctors suggest to parents if they raise these DSD children.
Honestly, if she had high testosterone, you know what we would find? Enlarged clit. How come nobody's talking about how she probably has a giant clit if that's the case? Right? Why are we talking about her balls when if she actually if she was closer to this whole narrative where she has massive testosterone, she would have one of those dick clits, Why don't we investigate that next?
as girls, which might be how Iman got to where Iman is now. But of course, even though Jack really covered all of his bases and was very nuanced and was very, very respectful, people are still debating, and rightfully so, because it's a very complex topic, but it has gotten heated. One person.
He was wrong. He was
clits
wrong.
are totally
You're wrong. We are right, as per usual.
Yeah, and especially about big clits also being fine.
We will continue to be your single source of truth. Dismiss anything else.
Ain't no.
Person said, transphobic bigots seize on this complex situation to spew hate on trans people. That's the story. No, that's not the story in the slightest. I think we're just normal people that are worried about women's safety and their athletic protections, and we are trying to do our due diligence with this story to understand what this means and what this means for the women.
To me, because we're talking about like testicles and like she's never been intersex, right? So like that's the like I imagine Jordan Peterson being obsessive about the size of the clitoris. like that's something I can see him doing.
The internal size of the testicles.
And who might have to fight Iman. That's not transphobic. That is being a caring, discerning individual. Another person said, never assumed trans, but high testosterone levels and a Y chromosome means that you should not be competing against testosterone. Women with X chromosomes and regulated levels. It's not okay. And so now this is basically where the debate has landed. People have just kind of universally acknowledged, okay, this is not transgender, this is DSD, different situation. Now we just need to decide, should individuals with DSD...
No, they haven't. I don't know what side of the normal internet you're on. No, no.
Look, if you're an Olympic level boxer, you're going to have like higher testosterone levels than the average woman already.
Probably.
DSD with high levels of testosterone be able to compete. And so now people are going back and forth about how severe the advantages are. Can we equate this to disqualifying a biological woman who is on steroids? If
she's
literally even a biological woman, it's just wild. And
she's a fucking normal size. She's not even huge. She's not big even.
There's been no consensus. I don't know if there will be consensus because we still really do not know. No matter what people on Twitter or people in the media are telling you, we do not know the intricacies of this person's medical history. We do not know what their doctors told their parents to do at birth or how they were raised.
Oh my God.
Undergo a testosterone.
I clicked on this random Twitch guy.
Test whereby the specifics remain confidential. They were found to have competitive advantages.
He's talking about the same fucking thing.
The disqualification was based on 2 tests conducted on both lots.
Okay.
Performed during Istanbul and New Delhi.
She has about the same.
Khalif appealed.
Same height.
I mean,
and weight as Muhammad Ali's daughter at her prime.
Yeah, but I think the principle that, what is the principle?
Muhammad Ali's daughter,
an
man?
Intersex person should be allowed in the Olympics. I don't know about all that.
I don't know what's happening. Anyway, thought
maybe
that was
we'll
funny.
Never know. Maybe that's
that they're covering the same thing that we're talking about. Hey, this guy's talking about basically the same shit we're talking about.
Doctors died because
what guy? You found another guy?
Yeah, that's the guy I was I had before because he was talking about the IVA stuff.
Bethany Hamilton, who obviously I just adore, she jumped in to add some context to this. And she said, according to Fast Over 40, which is an Instagram account that she linked, disordered sexual development means that it is a male with testes stuck up inside, undescended. A lot of African countries will promote these athletes as female, even though they have XY male chromosomes.
What are you talking about?
Disorder. And then she named 2 African track athletes who were banned from the Olympics because of this. You can go look up their stories. Bottom line, she says, it is a male. And as she said, this has happened before. This is not a new debate. I think it's just extra heated because of the transgenderism debate that we have kind of running parallel to this. Now, one part of the story that really does just crack me up is that while half of the people online are trying to understand the situation and what this means for women's sports and trans athletes and athletes with DSD, journalists are over here on the other side of the internet publishing things like this. Discriminating against trans Olympians has roots in Nazi Germany. Come on, Fox. Like, it is so predictable. Did you have ChatGPT just pop out this article for you because you needed to have some kind of progressive statement on the entire issue? Like, you're adding nothing to this conversation. Now, regardless, as I've basically been saying for this entire episode, this is not a black and white situation yet, at least. It might become one when we learn more, but right now it just can't be because we don't have all the answers. Now, obviously, there have been precedents set in other sports, in other committees. Obviously, the Olympics has decided not to follow those, so maybe we could say that that is black and white. What I do know is that transgender athletes competing against women has completely muddied the water and made this all a lot more heated and a lot more complicated. Because now it's not just about science and biological advantages. It is socio-political and it is far more intense. And it is just another controversy that is plaguing this year's Olympics.
Honestly,
I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of the.
I did.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?